Donna Anna de la Australian Mountain Bike Magazine. Today we are discussing an exciting new group set from manufacturer Campagnolo, the Ekar GT group set. You guys are mountain bikers probably, and you may not have heard of the brand Campagnolo before. It's pretty much a heavyweight in road group sets and has an enduring legacy in cycling more broadly. Little secret, or maybe not so much, is that Campagnolo boasts the most amount of Le Tour de France wins of any group set manufacturer. If you're watching this though, it's likely that you're more of a dirt fiend than a skinny tyre, bitumen riding, lycra clad warrior, but if you are, that's fine. You need not worry because the Ekar GT group set is a gravel group set. So it can take you off the bitumen, into the forest, onto the dirt paths and gravel riding to your heart's content. For a bit of context, in the year 2020, Campagnolo launched their Ekar Carbon group set. Aimed at the pointy end of the gravel field, the Ekar group set featured a lot of carbon, not a lot of weight, and quite a narrow gearing range for those powerhouses. Ekar was claimed to be the lightest gravel group set on the market at the time, at a diminutive 2,385 grams, just over 2 kilos. But with all this carbon and this lack of weight, it came at quite a hefty price. And so Campagnolo saw the need to introduce a more affordable group set for the everyday gravel warrior. The Ekar GT group set swaps out that feathery light carbon for a lightweight alloy and keeps the price down. Serves a broader user base of gravel riders by implementing a wider range cassette, something that was missing from the Ekar range, and making this a little bit more affordable for the everyday rider. The Ekar GT, or Gran Turismo group set, compares roughly in cost and weight perspective to around the Shimano GRX 1x12 speed. We spec'd our test group set with a set of 170mm cranks and a 40-tooth chainring, sort of to keep apples and apples with our existing drivetrain. We also chose to use the extended range cassette, which features a 10 to 48 tooth span. We've paired this with a set of Campagnolo Zonda alloy wheels. One thing to note is that as it's a 13-speed Campagnolo drivetrain, you do need an N3W new, whatever it is, free hub adapter to use the cassette on your existing wheels. These come stock on many wheel sets. You can buy an adapter as well. At the heart of the Ekar GT group set are the ErgoPower shifters. They feature a grippy hood, a narrow reach lever, and an ergonomic bump to make riding a little more comfortable than usual. They also feature a thumb shift and a regular shifter on the brake lever. These shifters are actually a fair bit shorter than others that we have tested in the gravel and road market, and we actually really enjoy the increased ergonomics from these shorter shifters. For someone who's used to a longer shifter, it might take a little bit getting used to, but for those who have had a little bit of a ride around on this drivetrain while I've been testing it, they've found them to be quite comfortable. The internals of the Ekar GT brake caliper are shared across all of the disc brake models of Campagnolo. They are astoundingly sharp and offer good braking power as well as modulation. They are a standout in this drivetrain. The Ekar GT derailleur features an alloy body and longer cage than the regular Ekar in order to facilitate the wider ranging cassettes, and has a clutch-like action by pulling the derailleur back to hold and a button to release. But how does it ride? Well, initial impressions, and after a bit of riding, I found that it does differ a little bit from those mainstream competitors. That feel of the ErgoPower shifters being smaller and narrower and with the grippy hood is significantly different and a really nice departure from the two major players. You have the ability to shift up 3 gears at a time, while the thumb shifter inside the bar allows crisp single shift units down. One drawback I did notice about the Ekar GT group set is when you are riding in the drops, the ergonomics are a little bit off. Compared to other options, I've found it a little bit awkward to move that thumb up to reach the thumb shifter. Shifting down was unaffected, but just something to note if you are a bit of a sprint warrior and expect to be winning sprints at the end of gravel races. One of the big features of the Ekar GT group set that's a departure from the Ekar is the range of the rear cassette. To compare, Shimano GRX can get you a 1051 tooth range and Eagle a 1052 tooth. So while we aren't quite at that expanse with the Ekar GT, the 480% gear range is still pretty hefty. And while Campagnolo could easily have opted for a wider range, the Ekar GT cassettes are unique, as they really operate at a party on the top, business at the bottom configuration, with much smaller steps reminiscent of a more road cassette on the top gears and much broader steps as we get towards that 48. We absolutely love this gearing when the road was a little bit flatter. We're going for all-day rides on rail trails and mildly undulating terrain. Where we did find that maybe we were searching for something more was when the roads turned up. On those really hilly berg days, we often found ourselves searching for a gear in between what was offered. Potentially, I just need to be a little bit more flexible with my cadence and my expectations. Perhaps I need to get a bit fitter, but this might be something to consider for those of you who are used to the more consistent steps between gears. In terms of durability, we found the drivetrain to be crisp and efficient. We had to make some minor adjustments early on, as you do with most group sets, but then we found that it did actually tend to wear in and be quite stable and didn't need to do too much work to it. At $2,549, the Ekar GT is a premium product, but at a far less premium price tag than the Ekar offering. I think that the matte black alloy finish looks molto bene, and it has been exciting to ride something a little bit unique. If you're looking to do a gravel build and you're looking for something that's a little bit off the beaten track, that's a little bit different, still has great functionality and fabulous aesthetics, you should definitely check out the Campagnolo Ekar GT group set.